Sure.
Hey, welcome to
What up?
another
What up?
episode of
What up?
TZ Sport. And today I'm joined by Melly, Toba, Terrence. What's happening, gents?
Oh,
Chilling.
Fitz. How you doing?
Yeah,
You
Good.
all right,
Good.
guys?
I know we
Easy,
easy,
easy, easy.
we easy, Terrence.
I'm watching the second half.
Yeah, I know. Aren't we all? Am I frozen, bruh? Oh,
No, you're not frozen. I can see you.
all right, all right,
For
all
me,
right.
you're glitching a bit. Oh no, there you go. There you go. You live. You live. Let's carry
Yeah,
on.
I'm
Let's
fine.
carry on.
I'm fine. Hey. So yeah, Terrence, man, how do you feel that your boy set a new record? I mean, Zweli, by the way, Terrence is a diehard CR7 fan. CR7 can't do any wrong. Even if it's CR7 angachayisa umuntu, it's not culpable homicide. yeah,
Respect, respect. He's one of the
yeah.
greatest, man.
How do
He's
you
one of the
feel,
greatest.
Terrence?
Actually, I feel good. And I feel happy for him. You know, for him to score such a good penalty. Today, it means a lot
Yeah,
for Portuguese people
yeah,
and me as a fan. You know,
yeah,
and Cristiano continues to be epitome of excellence, epitome of class. And I think a lot of young footballers around the world, he's a guy to look up to. At 37 years old, he's still at the top. You know, that shows that the guy just has like elite mentality.
yeah. I know, indeed, bro. I feel you on that part. I mean, hey, credit goes out to him. I mean, I'm not a CR. I won't say I'm a fan of his, but at the same time, I'm very objective when it comes to any player. Like even my favorite players, I'll still criticize them where it's true, but I'll never ever be all personal about it. And
Yeah.
in the UK, I just wanted to check with you. How's the vibe as far as World Cup is concerned? Is there like a fever there at Leeds?
Dude, everyone is happy, man. It's just like World Cup time. People are gluing their
Yeah,
TVs. People are just like talking about football. Even my workplace, there screens everywhere, man. Pubs are
yeah,
full. People are just like
That's
watching
dope.
football. For sure, tomorrow
That's
it's a
dope.
Friday. People will be like
yeah.
tuning in to watch England versus the USA. They're
Yeah,
cousins, so it's gonna be a big match. You know,
I know it is. I know most definitely, bro. And yeah, man.
the
And
buzz
then,
is there. There, the buzz is there.
sorry,
I was
I
just saying
beg.
that the buzz, the World Cup buzz is there. Like, I think like everyone is very happy that the World Cup is around, and I'm not sure about if it's coming home. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
nah.
Nami,
I,
I
I,
say
I
Nami.
wanna, I wanna run it back though. I wanna back. Terrence, do you feel like that was a penalty though?
The CR7,
Yeah.
yeah, Melly, I'll lie to you. That was a penalty. Um, uh, it was a penalty because
Yeah,
at the stadium there's VAR, and usually if it's not a penalty, the VAR referee does communicate with the referee in the field. So I think FIFA is FIFA is a spot on this one because if you look at the way he was challenged, he got to the ball first. And when you're in the post like that, he's an elite player. Come on. He knows that like in that position, you just have to get there first. So once you
yeah,
touch him, it's a contact and it makes the penalty.
I think I agree with you that he definitely drew the foul. He definitely
hmm
drew the foul. He knew what he was doing, his body
Yeah.
positioning, his touch and everything. But were it to be another player, I highly doubt it would have been a penalty. But that's just me.
Yeah, but
yeah,
for Melly, like to be quite honest, elite players sometimes when things are tough, man, you have to manufacture something. But
Indeed,
manufacture
indeed.
something according to FIFA, and he's playing within the FIFA rules. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
contact. The VAR ref said it is a penalty. It's a penalty. Then we all know
yeah,
that
Yeah, no.
like guys like Suarez and Messi's they've been manufacturing penalties for actually more than 2 decades. So now
yeah,
I don't see any issue here.
Ah,
yeah,
spoken like a
yeah.
true CR7 fan.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just I just wanted to also just jump onto as far as the the various teams are concerned. I just feel like this World Cup, especially with the smaller oppositions, the teams that we don't even, count, like Japan, Saudi Arabia, specifically Saudi Arabia. I wanted us to touch on Saudi Arabia's performance and like, did you guys anticipate that sort of performance from Saudi Arabia since they are, of course, playing in their region, you know?
Mm.
Or did you guys think that Argentina was like gonna walk all over them? I just wanted to check with you guys. Yeah, I'll start off with Manny.
For me personally, like I didn't expect that of any team. But before I answer anything, I do want to say something about this current World Cup. I think a lot of people have been realizing that the gap between teams, national teams, has been it's like so small right now. Obviously, because certain players are now currently playing in Europe, so they're gaining that experience. They're learning tactics. They're learning
Yeah,
how to move the ball. So the gap has been closed so much. But obviously, I didn't expect a team like Saudi Arabia to cause such an upset. Neither did I expect Japan, to do anything against Germany. So the fact that they did once again just proves what I said before. But no, I didn't expect it, bro. To be honest with you, I was shocked. But I don't know what team is like in English. What team like they underestimating these teams, Babanyata, and
yeah,
these teams are coming out full throttle, and they're showing that we're also here to compete. And shout out to them, man. Well done. They're making the World Cup more exciting than it is. Obviously the political cloud
yeah.
above this World Cup, but yeah, on the field, it's very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, true. I was also gonna, you've pretty much answered the question I was gonna say. Was it because maybe these teams didn't prepare? They didn't do their homework, especially with Germany, man. I just feel like Germany, okay, of course, Saudi Arabia. Let's not act like we all knew who. I don't even know a single player from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
I
neither do
only
I.
Same here.
know I only know the manager. I only know the manager.
Same.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
Renard,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Renard is someone who's well known, of course, in African football. He's
yeah,
done it with Zambia. He's done it with Ivory
Gold
Coast.
Coast,
He
yeah.
managed to get Morocco to the World Cup, and the last time Morocco was in the World Cup was 1999, 1998.
eight.
And
Yeah,
in 2018 he managed to get them there. So for me, that's the only person who I know. Um, but yeah, from a Japan standpoint, I mean, I just feel like Germany as well weren't clinical enough. On top of that, it just shows you that taking your chances is very vital in this World Cup. I mean, if you want to
yeah,
let things come back, like right now we're watching Serbia and Brazil. Hey man, Serbia are holding it down. They really are holding
Yeah.
it down.
yeah,
But they are a very solid team, Serbia. I mean, they've got your
yeah,
Mitrovic of this world, yeah. And so another thing that I also wanted us to touch on, African teams, guys, like yes, of course, Tunisia, of course, Morocco did their thing as far as get results. But where do you think African teams like on your end, Toba? I'll start with you, Toba. Like, where do you think African teams need to improve? Which areas do you think they need to improve in order for them to, you know, improve like get an opportunity to advance to the latter stages of the tournament?
I think just to go back to the previous discussion
Yeah,
item that you raised about small teams in the World Cup, I totally agree with Manny. I feel like I'm actually like sort of like Nova, like not like overly surprised by the performances of like teams like Saudi Arabia, Japan, South Korea, and
mm,
recently Canada. It's because like the superiority of like European teams and also like South American teams in terms of dominance of world football. It's actually like sort of like it is sort of like decreased because like the growth of like football worldwide. You look at countries like South Korea, all these small countries, they've put substantially money or investment into football,
yeah,
and now we're seeing the returns. And you can see that these countries, they're always like promoting their players to go overseas, to play. If you look at South Korea, when Son touches the ball, the South Korean people, they see a Lionel Messi, a Ronaldo for their nation,
Yeah.
and it's someone who's there on merit. There's someone who's performing in Spurs for the past 5 years. We know Park, is the one who sort of like brought this vibe about Sun. You go to Canada, you've got guys like Davis, a left back who plays in Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich is one of the top teams in Africa. Sorry, in Europe.
In
Apologies
Europe,
about
yeah.
that. Um, so you can see like the number of like Brazil just scored.
Yeah, just so
So
right now. Yeah.
yeah. The point is like
Allison.
you can see like there's a big number of like players from these small countries, football wise, who are playing in top leagues. So when they come to these World Cup, they come there united as a country, and and playing as a collective. And we saw that today on South Korea, they were very compact. They never let
Yeah.
Uruguay any chance. But look at Uruguay on paper. They've got guys who play in Manchester, Barcelona, all of these big names. Valverde, one of the top
Yeah.
midfielders in Real Madrid. So basically every country has a top star. So like it just shows that like as a big country like Argentina, Uruguay, when you come to this kind of tournament, you really need to come with the intention not to underestimate, but to play to your full strength.
Yeah.
So I'm totally not surprised, and I'm very very happy to see countries that are very small previously, and now they're performing good. We saw it in the last World Cup too, so that's why I'm saying I'm not surprised in this World Cup. And going forward, we're gonna see small countries possibly winning the World Cup.
Eish. Dude, if only that could happen, if only that could be Mzansi Neka. It's like, what you doing?
you
You
know,
got
you
to
know,
get,
you know, guys. I was very
yeah,
happy. I was very happy when Ghana lost, regardless of me from Africa,
yeah.
because Ghana also had like sort of like got a controversial penalty against
to
against
get
Bafana
there. Yeah,
Bafana,
Ah, that
and
one.
yeah, to
Yeah,
get there.
so I think the football karma was coming to them. Although I totally support them in 2010 when they were playing in SA. It was like
Yeah,
it was like Africa supporting Ghana. But this time around, I felt like
yeah.
Bafana were hard done by FIFA.
Yeah,
true,
no,
true,
they were
true.
outdone, man. Like, seriously. But do you
Yeah.
guys think that we would have, you know, gotten
Can,
a
can,
result
can I
against
can I can
Egypt?
I run it back? Let me run it back. Terence
Yeah,
brought up a very important point in terms of countries now investing in in their football in their country, right? And for some countries like Belgium, but 10 years ago, guys, we didn't know who the hell Belgium was. We knew
Yeah,
Belgium
that's true.
players, but we
yeah,
didn't know who Belgium was. So unfortunately, I am proudly South African, but I don't think South Africa would have done anything had they had the opportunity to go there. Because once again, I don't think we've invested into our football. And gonna tell it that's hands
yeah,
down. We know that the facilities we've probably got the best in Africa, especially after the
yeah,
World Cup. But I just feel like we lack that bit of investment in terms of development, in terms of growth, in terms of foresight, seeing the future. Even had we beaten Ghana, had got this opportunity, the time frame is too short for us to miraculously become this amazing world class
That's
country
true.
that can make it. Yeah, that's just my
Yeah.
opinion. But I wear the green and gold every time they come up on the stadium, and I'm hoping for a win. Just never happened.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Of
Yeah, yeah.
course, of course. Yeah,
Just to answer you, man, I think like African teams, what they need to focus on is just like to play like as a unit. Because
yeah,
Yeah,
one of the things that I've noticed about African teams when they come to World Cup and everything, you must notice that they're always like similar to countries like South Korea, whereby they've got these stars who play in the English Premiership, who play in La Liga and all of this. But
yeah,
when it comes to their national team, in terms of like cohesion, it's usually struggle. So
yeah,
sometimes you see other African countries depending on certain individuals. We all know that like recently Sadio Mane became number two in terms of like ranking of footballers in the world.
Yeah.
World.
And we're very very happy for him. But now he got injured, and look at Senegal. They don't look like the Senegal that won AFCON. So sometimes I think like there's too much dependency on certain on certain players, of
Yeah.
which we need to sort of like take down the pressure by just like ensuring that like the way we play collectively. you know
Yeah. No, I
Now,
agree.
I
I
fully
agree.
agree. I also fully agree with you. And as well, I think when you look at a team like Japan, there's like a distinct style of play. There's a way in which they play, and you can see they are a very well coached team. I just feel from a stylistic standpoint, like it's also important as a national team that you establish how you want to play
yeah, yeah,
and
Yeah.
play according to that philosophy. Because when you
True.
look at Japan and as well as South Korea, you can clearly see there's patterns of play. They're very competent on the ball, very hardworking as well. More than
mm,
anything,
Yeah.
it's the hunger, to fight back. It's like Japan were down 1-0 against Germany. And I mean, Germany had a very strong first half, to be honest with you guys. Like, I thought they had a very strong first half. And then all of a sudden, hey, 1-2, 1-2. Minamino comes in, he assists for the first goal. Then,
Yeah.
long ball, first touch, like that first touch for me set up the goal entirely. Then
yeah,
Yeah.
the game turned into for Japan, and they ended up winning the game, and surprised a lot of us. And so for me, I just think African teams as well, final third, we need to be more
Yeah.
clinical. I mean, did you guys see Cameroon? I couldn't watch the game because I had load shedding, but I saw on Twitter that there were a lot of people were tweeting about it, saying that
Yeah. They
Cameroon
dominated.
mm,
and they were dominating, and they ended up losing 1-0.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a
which is very
dangerous.
sad, man. It is very
Yeah, it
very
is.
Yeah.
sad.
It is very
Mm,
sad because if you're not gonna take your chances, bruh, like for instance, tomorrow Saudi Arabia plays Senegal. I expect Senegal to win that game,
yeah, they need
not
to.
draw,
They
but
need to.
win. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It can't be a thing of them being wasteful. They need to
Yeah,
take
they
their
need be. It can be. It can be like Saudi Arabia. They have got. Come on, they've got plenty
yeah,
oil. You know.
yeah,
They can't have plenty. Abundance of like football talent. Come on.
Yeah.
Senegal
Yeah.
needs to show up tomorrow and just like
yeah, yeah,
win.
yeah. And I said,
Um,
did I say Qatar or did I say Saudi Arabia, guys?
you
Just
said Saudi Arabia.
Sorry,
but
guys,
you
I
meant
take it back.
but you
It's
meant
Qatar.
Qatar. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Qatar.
Qatar. My
So
apologies.
I just want to add to what you said, X, because like in terms of the game, obviously, technical ability, we need to still catch up to these European teams.
Yeah,
As Terence said, in terms of cohesion, we need to play as one unit. Another big thing, I think X and you and I were speaking about it, was like mentally. I feel like Angaz, when we hit the 60th minute, we become a bit weak. We become frustrated. When we're watching the Ghana game, you even
yeah,
predicted
Oh
the
yeah,
crowd. Yeah, you saw the mentality.
yeah.
They get frustrated, and that stuff works into the hands of your opponents because they're like,
No,
okay,
that's
no, we've
true.
got them now. Yeah, we've got them now. All we have to do is draw a foul. They'll fight with the ref, and then if the whole team gets frustrated and stuff like that. So mentally, that's also another big thing. And we saw it in 2010 when Ghana got the penalty. Those are the moments where your mentality needs to be like rock solid because once you score this penalty, your team is going through.
yeah,
So
Yeah, that's
unfortunately, yeah,
true.
yeah. So unfortunately, I think mentally we just need to. I don't know, bro. There needs to be some sort of switch that when the whistle goes off, we are playing football. We're not trying to be hard. We're not trying to hurt people. We're not trying to fight. It's just football. Because you see that a lot with, like, I'll take for example Gavi. Gavi is a hard-working player. That kid fights on the pitch, but he does not lose his game based on
yeah,
on a tackle, based on a challenge. Even if Bamkapile, like if there's a hard challenge that happens to him, he still keeps his
yeah,
head on. So small things like that. I think there was the right back for Ghana. I forgot his name. I think he got subbed off purely because of the yellow. Not because he had a bad game and stuff like that. Now the coach must change his whole tactics because now this guy might get a red and then we're down one man.
Oh
Whereas yeah,
It
whereas
does.
I
It
needed
does have an impact. Totally
yeah,
agree with
whereas I
you.
needed you to stay on the pitch, but because when your head is buzzing, you want to foul Joao Felix, for example, because he dribbled you, so small things like that. I think mentally this just needs to be a hard adjustment that it's time for football, not of
Yeah.
course we want it that bad. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true, Zweli. Like, I feel like you've said a mouthful, bro. Like, you've covered pretty much what I've been thinking all along. Because I won't lie to you guys, I get frustrated seeing us lose all the time. It's as if
Yeah,
we go to these tournaments for holiday, three,
Yeah.
yeah,
4 weeks, then you back home, back at and a lot of the times you go back to your club. It's not like you go there to win. So, woo! What a
Yeah.
goal! No,
Yeah.
what a
And
goal! All of the tournament so far. Shit. I'm sorry.
thing of beauty, thing of beauty.
Did you see it, Doug?
no.
Nah, I'm not watching, but I
You
can
don't
imagine.
watch it. Fuck, Eric Charleston, man. Turned into Bebeto, dog. He turned into Prime Bebeto. I see
Terrence,
it, Terrence.
have you seen it?
Terrence,
No, I
I've seen it.
haven't.
Yeah,
X,
he's a
stop
big
ruining,
guy.
stop telling the
What's
future.
What's the time now? What's the
Oh,
time?
I can't see it yet, bro.
I'm watching on BBC, and it's 72
I'm watching
minutes.
on DSTV now. Woo!
Wow.
Pushkas, bro.
X, telling the
Ah.
future.
Yo. But anyway, man. No. Richarlison, dog. That's his best goal, bro. I don't think he'll ever score a goal like that ever, bro. But anyway, dog.
Possibly proving why Bobby didn't go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I just saw it now.
Did you see
Wow.
the first match, dog?
Woo!
Yo, that's
a good goal.
I'm sorry,
check
bro.
the
I'm not sure about Puskas though.
That's a Pushkas, bro. Like that first time.
It is a contender, but I'm not sure about Puskas.
Oh, you're not sure about Pushkas?
No, but Puskas goes to Kaizer Chiefs. We all know that. It goes to Kaizer Chiefs. It goes to Kaizer Chiefs. Who's the Kaizer Chiefs? Kaizer Chiefs midfielder. Yeah, Yusuf Mar. It goes to him.
Relax.
Wow, dude,
Guys,
this is a top goal.
Can I throw a question into the mix? Like my
please.
teammates and I always speak about this. So how do you guys feel about the Terrence is still in awe?
Yeah.
Man United, the new owners are buying Richarlison. We need to buy him. We need to buy him.
Relax.
Guys, we need a striker at Man United.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
He wouldn't be a bad buy. If we can do this week in, week out, why not?
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, this guy is a Brazilian. I'm telling you, this guy is Brazilian. That's top stuff. That's top stuff. That's top stuff. I like you. That's a very, very good goal.
I'm gonna take the highlights and check it out.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, like, how do you guys feel about? I don't know if X, you might have covered this. About the whole situation with Hugo Brosh wanting to call up international players, but PSL suffer coming at him about disrespecting the league and saying, why aren't you bringing up players from our league and stuff like that? Because I get it like so frustrated when I'm on Instagram and I'm on Twitter and I hear about a boy who's lighting up the Portuguese league, but he's never got a call up. A boy who's got, like, for example, 10 goals in 15 appearances, but he's never been called up. I forgot his name, guys, but I'll let you know. There was a player who's posted a video, because I think he plays in one of these, like, European countries, and he's doing very well for himself, and he posted a video basically begging to be called up to South Africa, and nobody's calling him up. So that's another thing where I think we lack, is that, like, in terms of, I don't know what you can say, because it's not scouting, but maybe it's about calling up. We're not calling up players that could potentially carry us,
I think I might not give you the right answer, but I'm of the opinion that, to be quite honest, one of the lacking part from the South African football to develop, I think it's the governance side of football.
Yes, sir.
And when we talk about governance, we're not just talking about having a good infrastructure. We're talking about having good people within that infrastructure. and
Yeah.
people who understand the objective, what needs to be achieved, you know, and um, and having people who are very competent and having people who
Yeah.
understand football and also having people who have played football, you know,
Yeah.
it's very sad to see the likes of Lucas Rue right there being, you know, on the sidelines. You know, these are the guys supposed to be the forefront of South African football. These are the guys who have
Agreed.
won in Africa. These are the guys who have taken South Africa to a World Cup 1998. You understand?
Yeah.
So I feel like right now also there's also another issue on top of what you've just raised. There's
Yeah.
a South African born midfielder or player. I'm not sure about the position. He played for Australia, you know, a Devon
Oh
born.
Yes.
yeah,
And,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, I think like having good governance, you need to have also like good people who can do like proper scouting, people who
Yeah.
go around the world trying to find out who's who in terms of nationality. You
I
understand? So
agree.
that you can go to those people and try to convince them the importance of being patriotic towards your country, the importance of like the benefits of like playing for your country, and also like, you know, just try like sort of like talk to their families, you know, all of those things, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that that player could have been recruited to represent Bafana Bafana, and you know that player who's just like using like social media platform to promote himself, a scout could have been already enriched to talk to the family and all of that, you know.
True.
So I feel like the governance side, it's sort of like maybe one of elements that's lacking, you know.
yeah. No,
I completely
and
agree.
as well, guys, I just feel like you just said already that the Safa were on his case. I just feel like Safa lacks self awareness. For them to
Yeah.
think that we can compete in the world stage, not even world stage, but even in Africa, I'm not sure if you recall, we played Morocco. I think that was our last qualifier, bro,
Yeah.
and it was bad. It was
Yeah.
terrible.
We got destroyed. Yeah. I
We got
remember.
destroyed. Yes, the score was 2-1, nah, but in when you
But
look at the
yeah, the
game,
game.
dude, it wasn't a 2-1 type of game, bro. We were just ran ragged.
Yeah.
Morocco were better than us. Morocco were well organized. They defended way better than we did. You know, like the basics, they have the basics, whereas we lack the basics, and that's only because of the quality of players that we have. And then this is
Yeah.
not me, you know, shooting them, but it's me being honest. I just feel like
Yeah.
honesty is key, and that's what I like about Hugo. Hugo is actually spitting facts. This is a man who's won a calf with a wounded Cameroon. That Cameroon
Yeah.
team, no one gave it a chance, and he won calf with it, and he beat
Yeah.
Egypt of all teams. So Egypt that had more Salah. I think Al Nene was still in his prime, you know. So it just shows you that this guy actually knows what he's doing. He
Yeah.
actually cares more than anything. I feel like Hugo cares about the progression of the team. He's not there just for the WAP. You can clearly see this guy's concerned. You know,
Yeah.
he's someone who actually cares and wants us to advance and be a great country and return to the good old days. Because man, for the mere fact that once upon a time we were a great team, um, means that we more than capable of returning to those days. It's like
Yeah.
hey man, it's just unfortunate
Any
news.
team, any team is capable of retaining anyway.
They
Any
Yeah.
can.
team. It's
It's just
Yeah.
like,
just
ooh, hey, Brazil, but Fetchazin, hey, say,
uh,
they're now
Stop,
turning up.
stop, stop telling the future,
Sorry,
eggs. Stop telling the
sorry,
future.
man. Sorry, man. Hey, dude. Hey. But I'm just yeah, but yeah, just to answer your questions, really, like I do agree with Du Hugo 100%. We need to get
Yeah.
international, and for us to get international, when we get internationals, it will improve the quality of play, and we will be more competitive. That's what I asked for, bruh. For us to be a
Yeah.
competitive team. Look at
Yeah. We don't
Japan.
have to win everything, but
Yeah, let's be
let's puff up our chest and show ourselves. Yeah.
let's whenever there's a draw,
yeah.
South Africa, ish, you guys, teams gotta go ish, you know.
But
Yeah,
guys, you need ambassadors, bro. You need
Yeah.
ambassadors.
yeah,
Yeah.
Go to Egypt. They've got Salah, who's playing
Everywhere.
top
Yeah.
league, bro.
yeah.
There's not even Salah. There was Trezeguet. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Is that Fred?
What did he do? He hit the
Wow.
post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's afraid. He
I don't
doesn't
know.
do it in Manchester.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's
I get
playing
to
it in
know. You
Scott.
know what, Manchester? Hey, man.
I
You
Anyway,
He's
I
playing
was
it in
just saying
Scott.
like, guys.
number 5, dog. I don't know who's number 5. The guy who hit the post.
Paqueta.
Oh,
Yeah,
Paqueta.
I think it's
Paqueta is also
Paqueta.
another one that's nice. He made a huge mistake by going to West Ham. I don't know why the fuck he went to
Oh yeah,
West
that
Ham.
was a bad mistake.
Yeah.
Bad mood. Woo!
I want to
That's
touch
great.
just
Yeah.
just to like conclude my question and everything that you guys said. I loved your answers,
Yeah.
by the way, guys, because you spoke about things that are rallying on my mind all the times. Number one was the ambassadors thing. When I went to Spain, I had to obviously introduce myself to like various teams that I was trialing for, and all
Yeah.
of them would expect me to to do fancy things that you see at guys and stuff like that. And it kind of, for me personally, it was a bit disrespectful because the way I play, I don't play like that, and I'm
Like
here
Yeah.
that,
to
yeah.
play. Yeah, I'm here to play progressive football. But the way that they've seen our country, it is almost like freestyle football. And that speaks to what Terence was talking about, that we don't have ambassadors that are out there saying that this team is trying to be serious, we are progressive. Look at what Edo said about Cameroon. He said they're gonna win the World Cup.
Yeah.
Why isn't Lucas out here standing for us? Why isn't okay, Pina is busy working in Ajax, but in terms of ambassadors, we do need that because at the time I had dreadlocks, and the only person they could reference was it's Pure Shabalala. I was like, yeah, but there's other guys. Like there's other guys that are
Yeah.
also doing their thing. And then the second point that you guys spoke about was the governance. I love that word, by the way,
Yeah.
governance, because if you go to your England, the top 5 leagues, England, Italy, Germany, France, Spain, right? When it
Yeah.
comes to development, we're not trying to win the game. Like if you're a coach who's developing young players, you're not trying to win the game. You're trying to see, okay, Usplizi, when he plays, he's not using his left foot. Let's rather put him in a position where he's forced to use his left foot. Okay, Uterens lacks jumping and headering the ball. Let's focus on that in his game. They're not trying to win the game. Whereas here in Mzansi, I feel like coaches are just trying to get W's so that they CV, they can say, I just won, multi-choice Disky challenge with the 18-year-olds. It's not about winning, it's about developing players. And if you look like a development team such as Wits, when Wits sold the team, they kind of put us in a big crutch because they were one of the teams that produced most players, one of the most players in Africa. So development is lacking, and it's sad to see, man, because like I'm in the hood right now, guys, and there's talent here. There is talent,
Yeah.
but obviously it's just not being honed. It's not being put in the right place, and it's sad to see, man. It's sad to see. So
Yeah.
thanks for answering the question, guys. That was very insightful, man. That was very insightful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, guys. In closing, because of course it's quite late for us, Terrence. I mean, when I think it's like to 9 right now for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tina. Hey, man, it's even past my bedtime, you know.
Yeah, actually
Yeah.
sleeping by now.
I should be God by now, but anyway, I just wanted to ask. I never even asked any of your favorites. But when as well, I'll start with you. Who do you think will win the World Cup and why?
I have to say Brazil. Did you say and why?
Yeah, and why? Why do you think
Oh,
they will?
okay. Well, number one, they're my favorites. But number two, I just love their style of football. I grew up watching your Ronaldinho's, Robinho's, Rivaldo's. I grew up watching them. But I feel like Brazil is one of the few teams in this World Cup who are complete in terms of from the goalie to
Yeah,
from the goalkeeper to the defender, sorry, to the midfielders to the forwards. I feel like a lot of teams in Brazil, Belgium showed that there's places where they lack. There are other
yeah,
teams that are lacking in certain areas, but I feel like Brazil has the formula. It's just about implementation. So
yeah.
Brazil, bro, Brazil for
And
me.
then let's guess, Terrence. Portugal.
Actually, I'm torn between Portugal and Brazil. But actually,
Oh,
I think that Melly, your reasons for Brazil are similar to mine.
Yeah,
I grew up like watching like Brazil. I saw Brazil live in the last World Cup. When
mm,
Ronaldo beat Oliver Kahn there with that one
yeah,
shot.
yeah,
I destroyed him.
When Brazil had Roberto Carlos, Calf, had Dunga in the midfield. They had Dida. They had
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
these stars. They had Denelson. You
I heard
understand?
that.
So
Gilberto
that's the
Silva.
Brazil. That's the
Oof.
Brazil that like so caught my eye as a youngster,
Yeah,
and seeing Brazil, like sort of like, not winning the World Cup, the past two World Cups, it was not cool. But
yeah,
in Europe, I'm a big fan of Cristiano Ronaldo. Since he came to Manchester at the age of 17, I've been like following him his career,
yeah,
and as a person in my life, he inspires me a lot.
yeah,
I look up to him because the way he handles himself and what he has done for the game.
yeah,
With also respect to Lionel Messi, what he has done for the game. These are two
yeah,
guys. I agree with Ronaldo to say that they've shed the stage for more than 15 years.
yeah,
It has never happened. If you look at the
yeah,
past of Johan Cruyff, Maratonas and everything, they never shed a stage like that. It just
yeah,
shows the dominance of these two guys. So it's a debate between the will and the talent, the skill. Messi is that
yeah,
kind of player that he's purely talented. He doesn't
yeah,
need to do much. But Cristiano Ronaldo is a player that shows a will that, like, if you work hard, if you study, if you do the long hours, something good will happen to you. You
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
remember back at school, there were those guys where they did not study, at
yeah,
boarding school. But I'll study from Monday to Sunday, and I'll get like 78, and the person will just like get 90% and tell you
yeah,
that,
yeah,
nah, I just read yesterday. So it's that debate, which one are you? Are you the will or are you the skill? You
yeah.
understand? So I think it,
Yeah.
it becomes more subjective. But for me, in this World Cup, I'll go with Portugal and Brazil.
All
Dope.
right. I know. Fair enough. Those are for me personally. I'm Brazil. I just think this is Neymar's World Cup. This
You
is
think so, Brazil?
Of course.
Why? Why? It's why Brazil?
why Brazil. They are complete. I just don't think there's any deficiencies. There's no areas where I can say they've got a solid goal, two solid goalkeepers,
Yeah, yeah,
two world class. Whether they put Ellison or Edison, yeah, fine.
Yeah, fun.
I'd
yeah,
say in the defense, it's of course, Teles as well as Danny Alves. I'd say those are like the potential weak links, but I mean they've got a lot of good centre backs. They really got a lot of
yeah,
solid centre backs. They can easily switch to a back five, and that's what I've noticed. That's the common formation. It's the back five
yeah,
in
yeah,
this World Cup. A
Yeah.
lot of teams are actually using the back five.
Hmm.
So yeah, I just think it's Brazil. There's also a brotherhood, guys. Like I feel like we,
yeah,
we
yeah.
underestimate the importance of having a brotherhood.
Especially during a World Cup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially in the World Cup, bro. There seems to be this togetherness within
Yeah,
the camp.
Brazil do
Yeah,
come like sort of like, and you remember in 2002 when there was that like Ronaldinho and Dunga and all of that old guys, they used to like sort of like dance in the past and
yeah,
play like
Yeah,
that
yeah. They
music
still
and
do. They
everything,
still do.
they
And
still
with
do.
this squad, I agree with you.
Yeah,
There's that brotherhood, that
there
sense
is a
of
brotherhood
unity. You
and
know,
respect for one another. These guys actually do. You even see it whenever they play against each other in Europe. There's that thing, okay, Fede, we are against one another, but after the game, it's all love.
yeah, they do
Yeah,
Yeah,
embrace each other. We've
it's rare,
seen it
it's
in the
rare to
English
find
Premiership.
Brazilians not get along with one another. It's rare,
yeah,
So yeah, for me, I think it's that, man. It's the intangibles because from an ability standpoint, there are a lot of teams that have the exact same ability than
yeah,
like Brazil, but it all boils down to them playing as a unit and them having the the them understanding the vision. It's nice when each and every person in the team understands the job and assignment
Mm.
that this is what
yeah,
is required. And that's the thing I get when I look at this Brazilian team. And of course, they also are trying to avenge the Copa America loss. I mean, they lost to Argentina in 2020. Was it last year? It was not last year.
Yeah, it was
last year.
last
Yeah,
year when Messi won,
Yeah, when
yeah,
Messi won. Yeah, 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 yeah. So they still want to,
and
redeem
also like
themselves.
the
Like France.
embarrassment
They're like
7-1.
France. Remember, France lost
Yeah.
to what like in Portugal, and then they ended up winning the Euro.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true. Yeah, yeah,
same will happen. And yeah,
yeah,
man. And I'd be happy seeing Neymar win a World Cup for his legacy. That would be a
Yeah.
very yeah,
Yeah.
be very
No,
solid for him.
I'm sorry. I know you want to close. I feel like for a long time, Neymar has been in people's shadows, and winning a World Cup, will, like you say, X will just add to his legacy and put him up there in history. Of
Yeah,
course, we know he's done it with Barcelona. He's been doing it with PSG. He's one of the most talented players in the world. But I agree with you, X. If he can just win the World Cup, it'll not put him on the level of 5 Ballon d'Ors and 7 Ballon
yeah,
d'Ors, but he'll have a say. He'll be able to be
exactly.
like, you guys don't have a World Cup, I do.
And
Um,
as well, him also being he's gonna break Pele's record
of
in
course,
like, the next two
of course,
years. That record is gonna be gone. So it'll be
yeah,
nice for him to also have couple that record with a World Cup.
yeah,
yeah,
It will
yeah,
just mean it'll just stop people from criticizing him and being on his back. Because at
yeah,
times I just feel like some of the criticism he receives is not constructive at all. It's just
yeah,
based on hate. It's like same thing even with CR7. Like Terrence, I'm not out here criticizing CR for him personally. I'm just looking at the actions that
yeah,
the things that he's done. I have nothing against CR.
yeah. It's just that
Man.
it happens, man. We all have
Yeah,
opinions on things. Just that some
mm,
opinions are just misplaced. So that
yeah,
yeah,
some opinions must be corrected.
yeah.
As we are
'Cause-
correcting yours on CR7. You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but to be quite to be honest with you, this Brazil squad, it looks like the Brazil that we know.
yeah.
yeah,
To be
From a
quite
talent.
yeah,
honest, they've got depth, they've got
Hmm.
talent in every position. There's another guy who can do the same job.
yeah,
Exactly.
So I don't want to repeat that. I just know that this Brazil squad is good and they look very united and they might win this
Yeah,
World Cup. It will be great to win the World Cup when Pele is still alive.
yeah, yeah.
Just to to give him to send him with this trophy. That would be very very nice.
I'd will.
And
agreed.
it will be very and also like to agree with you, Melly. Just to I think Messi, sorry, Neymar needs to cement his legacy
Yeah,
because that number 10 jersey in Brazil, it's a very huge jersey.
It
yeah,
is. It is
yeah,
a big one. A big one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So, guys, I feel like we've covered everything that I wanted us to discuss. We need to have a Manchester United convo, guys, next week.
Oh,
Since
please,
all three of
please.
us,
Yeah, we need to talk about
I'll
it.
also invite Maurice as well, so that it's all four of us
Yeah,
just
Yeah,
talking about our club. Because I feel like that one is meant to be for United fans. I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
want Chelsea and Man City guys giving their 2 cents because really,
because they don't
we're on
have good
our way up.
interest about our club.
Guys, all I can say is that we are on our way up. Shit's about to change in a positive way.
Yeah,
When
definitely.
we are, yeah, man, like the last 10 years have been nothing but, yo, they've been tough.
pain.
Actually 17 years. I think it's 17 years under the Glazer ownership.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just that I'm just talking about from a trophy standpoint. I just
Oh,
feel,
trophy standpoint, yeah.
yeah, I feel like Ferguson covered the cracks by winning
Yeah, I did cover the
all those
cracks.
trophies, but still, man, deep down, we all know who we are. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look at this. Danny Alves and who's this? Charleston are busy playing. Like there's a brotherhood, man. That's what I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
Yeah.
But anyway, gents, I'll keep you posted now. Now, of course, speak in
Cheers. Thank
advance.
you so much.
I don't want to, of course, speak about. I'll surprise you guys and say, hey, let's shoot tomorrow or something like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'll keep you posted, gents. Thank you so
Thanks
so
so
much
much,
for
bro.
being yourself, guys.
Make
Please
sure
like,
to
comment,
like.
share, subscribe to the channel. Please
Yes,
support.
sir.
We out. Peace.
Later.